It's a Fox News alert. Overnight, Iran launching major missile attacks on America's greatest ally, on Israel, targeting major civilian areas, including a hospital, and injuring at least 89.
President Trump weighing all options, including supplying our biggest non-nuclear bomb to take down the terror regime's largest nuclear bunker. Obviously, this is consequential times.
Yeah, GOP Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso sits on the Foreign Relations Committee, joining us now on the couch. Senator, thank you for being here.
Great to be with you guys.
As the president is weighing this major, perhaps the most consequential decision of his presidency, whether or not to drop these massive ordnance penetrators, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think the president is doing absolutely the right thing to keep America safe. He has been very consistent for 10 years saying Iran cannot be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. He said it strongly. He's said it repeatedly because he knows that Iran with a nuclear weapon is a threat to the people of the United States. And we stand with the people of Israel.
I know some Democrats have said, no, we can't do this without our approval, without Congress's approval. But in an act of war, we don't want the Ayatollah to know that our Congress has voted yes for this or no for this, right?
I believe the president has full authority to do what he's talking about doing. He's talking about doing the right thing, which is to prevent Iran from having a nuclear weapon. Now, he said it, look, you can either dismantle or we can destroy it. The president is also projecting massive strength around the world, of America's strength, restoring our strength around the world by his actions, by his communications, and by our capacity.
Are you concerned about the Daily Telegraph report that showed China with dropping off cargo jets worth of some type of equipment or replenishing stocks? We're not sure, but China doing this, it's been tracked. Does that concern you?
I am so delighted that President Trump is the person in the White House now to handle this situation. This is a strong America. The president's the right person. He's going to make the right decision. We know right now the threat is Iran. I think the greatest threat to the United States today is Iran with a nuclear weapon. In the last hour, you reported on these ballistic missiles going into the hospital in Israel.
Yeah. How long?
Ballistic means targetable, and they are also working on Iran is working on intercontinental ballistic missiles to send the weapon to the United States, whether that's New York here, whether it's Florida, it's to the United States. This is a threat to the United States. The president is the right person.
North Korea could help them with that, and they have the technology to do that.
And they have been.
Do you absolutely know that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon that could be fired off now?
Well, it seems to me from the intelligence that I've seen that they are much, much closer than a lot of people thought, both in terms of the ballistic missiles as well as in terms of the enriched uranium, because even the group that looks at these things has said, wow, they were surprised. And they're not really our friends. They haven't been supportive of us. Griff, you were just talking about that a little earlier. The enrichment amount that the Iranian people have had is much higher than we.
It's unbelievable, Senator. The IAEA, the UN's liberal nuclear watchdog group, which has minimal access because Iranians keep them at an arm's length, writing in their assessment for the first time in 20 years, saying the fact that Iran is the only non-nuclear weapon state in the world that is producing and accumulating uranium enriched to 60% remains a matter of serious concerns. I think ultimately, Senator, we need to know whether or not Iran really poses a nuclear threat, and whether or not these bunker busters can do the job. What say you?
Well, I say they do present Iran a nuclear weapon is on the verge. It is a threat specifically to the safety and security of the people of the United States. Right. We talk about what Iran has done. They have built this hidden facility into a mountainside.
So let's talk about, while we're trying to figure out this is going to be a national security issue, and it is, what kind of action we're taking. You guys are taking action on the big, beautiful bill. Yeah. But so far, you got some PR work to do. We just did a Fox News poll, and we asked people, what do you think of the bill? Only 38% are in favor. They went on. Do you have concerns about the view? 85% the future of the U.S., they're concerned about it. 84% are concerned about inflation, government spending. Of course, we have the rest. Your thoughts about, number one, what people should know about this bill, and why do you think it's underwater with the approval rating?
Well, number one is the more people learn about it and what's in it for them personally, I think the better it does. And we are committed as Republicans and united on providing safety as well as prosperity for the American people. We need to pass this to prevent the largest tax increase in the history of the country. If the Democrats have their way, they said they're going to fight this all the way. You're talking about, for the average working family, $3,000 higher taxes. They used to be the party of record high prices. They're now the party of record high taxes.
So you got to get
from
your
the
own party
standpoint
involved.
of
No,
people,
but your
yeah.
own party is not good. Ron Johnson's on board. Rand Paul's on board. Senator Josh Hawley's not on board. Obviously, in the House, they have issues with what you guys are doing. How do you unite? You're a leader.
Yeah, well, we are united in terms of wanting to get this passed to prevent this large tax increase, to provide things that the American people want. No taxes on tips, no taxes on Social Security, no taxes on overtime, making sure the border is secure, making sure the military is rebuilt, getting rid of a lot of the waste, fraud, and abuse in government. We see it. We see it in government programs. The government's too big. It spends too much. And we're working on the ways to get that all together. The more the American people see this bill, the fact that we're saying, hey, your taxpayer dollars shouldn't go to pay for health care for illegal immigrants, which is what California has been doing. 1.2 million illegal immigrants getting Medicaid. That's hurting the Medicaid part. We need to strengthen Medicaid.
We need that border funding. Senator, thank you for joining us
And
on
the
the couch.
goal is 2 weeks from today, right?
We're
Yes, it
sending
is.
you back to
4th of July.
Washington now to get this across the finish line. Clearly, from our polling, you got work to do.
We do, and we're going to continue to work and be united to make America strong, safe, and prosperous.
And Senator Thune says he's going to work through 4th of July if it's not done.
We're continuing. We'll get this done.
Good.
Senator Barrasso,
Senator
thank you so
Barrasso,
much.
Great to
Thank
be
you
with
so
you.
much.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it.